In the infinite expanse of the cosmos, where stars burn in silent majesty and the void stretches beyond comprehension, a lone spacecraft has wandered for nearly 5 decades. Launched in 1977, this aging probe, a marvel of human ingenuity, was sent to explore the outer reaches of our solar system. It was meant to capture fleeting glimpses of distant planets, to send back images and data that would redefine humanity's understanding of the universe. And it did, spectacularly. But its mission was never supposed to last this long. It was never meant to drift so far into the uncharted darkness of interstellar space, where the light of our sun is little more than a faint whisper. Yet, there it remains, a solitary ambassador of Earth, carrying the hopes, dreams, and curiosities of a species that dared to reach for the stars. And now, in an event that defies explanation, something impossible has happened. This spacecraft, thought to be nearing the end of its life, has encountered something in the deep, silent void, something that has shaken the foundations of science and sparked a question no one was prepared to ask. Has humanity's farthest traveler stumbled upon a presence that is watching us? The story begins in an era when humanity stood on the cusp of cosmic exploration. In the late 1970s, scientists seized a rare opportunity, a planetary alignment that occurs only once every 176 years. 2 spacecraft were launched to take advantage of this celestial event, designed to use the gravitational pull of massive planets to slingshot themselves deeper into the solar system. One of these probes was tasked with visiting Jupiter and Saturn, capturing the first close-up images of their swirling storms, intricate rings, and mysterious moons. The data it returned was nothing short of revolutionary. Volcanic eruptions on a moon called Io, a world alive with fire. The delicate braided rings of Saturn, a cosmic masterpiece. The hazy, methane-shrouded atmosphere of Titan, a moon larger than Mercury. These discoveries rewrote textbooks and ignited imaginations. But when its primary mission ended, the spacecraft didn't stop. It kept going, propelled by momentum and a fading power source, venturing beyond the orbit of Pluto, beyond the protective bubble of our sun's influence, and into the interstellar void, a place no human-made object had ever touched. For decades, this probe has drifted through the emptiness, its systems growing weaker, its signals fainter, its connection to Earth stretched across billions of miles. Scientists expected it to fade quietly, its instruments succumbing to the cold and its power dwindling to nothing. It was a ghost ship, a relic of a bygone era, carrying a golden record etched with humanity's voice. Greetings in dozens of languages, music from every corner of the globe, and diagrams of our world, a message to any who might find it. The record was a romantic gesture, a time capsule for the stars, never truly expected to be heard. The spacecraft's purpose was simple: to keep sending data for as long as it could, measuring cosmic rays, magnetic fields, and the sparse plasma of interstellar space. Its transmissions were routine, predictable, a steady heartbeat from the edge of the unknown. Until one day, in its 46th year, something changed. A faint, low-frequency hum appeared in the data, buried deep within the plasma wave frequencies. It was unlike anything ever recorded. It wasn't cosmic background radiation. It wasn't a solar flare. It wasn't interference from a dying instrument. It was something else, something deliberate, rhythmic, almost mathematical. At first, scientists dismissed it as a glitch. The spacecraft was old, its systems fragile, its power source a radioisotope thermoelectric generator, decaying with every passing year. But the hum persisted, consistent and unmistakable, detected across multiple antennas in the global network designed to listen to deep space. Engineers analyzed the signal, cross-referencing it with every known cosmic phenomenon, from pulsars to stellar winds. Nothing matched. The hum fluctuated in precise intervals, as if following a pattern, a sequence that hinted at structure rather than chaos. It was too regular, too intentional to be random noise. And then, without warning, the impossible happened. The spacecraft altered its course, not by much. A subtle shift in trajectory, a slight reorientation of its antenna, but it was enough to send shockwaves through mission control. No command had been sent from Earth. No pre-programmed protocol had triggered. The thrusters, dormant for years, had fired with precision, as if the probe had decided to adjust its path. But why? And toward what? The spacecraft's maneuver was no accident. Telemetry confirmed it. A deliberate change, executed with a level of precision that ruled out mechanical failure or random error. The probe had turned, its antenna now pointing toward a region of space with no known stars, no catalogued galaxies, no detectable gravitational anomalies. It was as if it had seen something, sensed something, and responded. Scientists scrambled to understand. Was this a forgotten line of code, a failsafe from decades past? They combed through the probe's programming, its logs, its systems. Nothing explained it. The camera array, long since powered down, after capturing an iconic image of Earth as a pale blue dot, was now oriented toward this empty patch of space. What had the spacecraft detected? What had it aligned itself to see? At a distance of over 15 billion miles, where light from Earth takes more than 22 hours to arrive, there is no room for error, no margin for coincidence. Yet the probe had acted, seemingly on its own. In the weeks that followed, the mystery deepened. The spacecraft's transmissions began to change. The data packets, once predictable and routine, arrived with subtle distortions, variations in timing and frequency that seemed random at first. But closer analysis revealed something astonishing. The distortions weren't errors, they were patterns, embedded deep within the signal, repeating in complex sequences that resembled binary logic or harmonic resonance. These were not the chaotic fluctuations of a failing system. They were deliberate, structured, almost as if the probe was responding to something, or something was responding to it. Experts from multiple fields were called in, cryptographers to decode the patterns, linguists to search for meaning, AI specialists to analyze the sequences. The patterns were intricate, layered with mathematical precision, suggesting a form of communication far beyond anything humanity had encountered. Could the probe have detected a signal we couldn't hear? Could it have stumbled into a field of energy, a distortion of space-time, or something even more profound? The implications were staggering. The spacecraft carried a golden record, a message to the cosmos encoded with humanity's location, culture, and knowledge. Had something found it? Had something decoded it? The record included diagrams of Earth's position relative to known pulsars, a cosmic map that could guide an intelligence to our doorstep. For decades, it had been a symbol of hope, a gesture of curiosity. Now, it was a potential beacon, a signal that might have been heard. The idea that the probe's course correction and altered signals could be a response to an external presence sent chills through the scientific community. Some dismissed it as speculation, clinging to the hope that this was a natural phenomenon, a quirk of plasma waves or an undetected gravitational pull. But others couldn't ignore the patterns, the symmetry, the eerie sense that the probe was no longer just observing the universe, but interacting with it. Behind closed doors, a select team of experts convened to grapple with the anomaly. The debate was intense. Some argued it was the probe's final act, a malfunction caused by decades of radiation and wear. Others pointed to the precision of the course correction, the complexity of the signal patterns, and the unexplainable hum. This was no ordinary glitch. It behaved like an interaction, as if the probe had encountered something that mirrored its actions, responded to its presence, or even manipulated its systems. The team faced a question that no space agency had ever truly prepared for. What if this wasn't random? What if the probe had stumbled into a region of space where the rules of physics bent, where dark matter or exotic energy fields created effects we couldn't yet comprehend? Or worse, what if it had encountered something that wasn't a phenomenon at all, but a presence? As the data continued to stream in, the patterns grew more pronounced. The sequences showed geometric ratios, symmetrical intervals, and harmonic feedback, hallmarks of deliberate design. Independent researchers around the world began to weigh in, analyzing the publicly available data. Some proposed radical theories. The probe might have entered a field of dark matter interaction, where invisible particles altered its trajectory. Others suggested it had brushed against a space-time distortion, a ripple caused by an unseen cosmic event. But one hypothesis sent shockwaves through the community. A group of researchers, using advanced pattern recognition software, found that the probe's altered signals bore similarities to a message humanity had sent decades earlier, a binary transmission broadcast from a massive radio telescope in 1974, designed to announce our presence to the stars. The overlap was uncanny, as if something had received our signal and was now replying, using the probe as a conduit. The possibility was as thrilling as it was terrifying. Had the probe become a relay for a cosmic conversation, one initiated by humanity nearly half a century ago? The golden record, with its greetings and music, was meant to be a one-way message, a bottle cast into the cosmic ocean. But what if the ocean had answered? The idea that an intelligence, using gravitational waves, magnetic fields, or some unknown medium, had noticed the probe and responded raised questions that went beyond science. If true, it meant humanity was no longer alone. It meant something out there was aware of us, capable of interacting with our technology, and perhaps even aware of our location. The probe, drifting silently for decades, might have become more than a relic. It might have become a bridge. The scientific community was divided. Skeptics argued for caution, insisting that natural explanations, undetected cosmic phenomena, or instrument errors were more likely than extraterrestrial contact. But the patterns were hard to dismiss. They weren't random. They adapted, evolved, as if learning from the probe's signals. Internal reports, though tightly controlled, hinted at a shift in protocol. Official statements referred to the event as a data anomaly, but whispers among insiders told a different story. The probe's behavior didn't match any known astrophysical model. It acted as if it was responding, adapting, engaging with something beyond our understanding. The fear wasn't just about what the probe had encountered, but what it implied. If something was interacting with it, had it been watching us all along? Had humanity's outreach to the stars through radio signals, golden records, and distant probes, finally drawn attention. The spacecraft was never designed for this. Built in an era of slide rules and early computers, it was meant to explore planets, not wrestle with the mysteries of the interstellar void. Its power source, now barely functional, was expected to fail years ago. Yet, it continues to transmit, to maneuver, to defy expectations. Each new signal brings more questions than answers. The hum, the course correction, the patterned distortions. They point to something vast, something structured, something that challenges the boundaries of our knowledge. This is no longer just a story of exploration. It's a story of encounter, of possibility, of a moment where humanity's farthest reach may have brushed against something unimaginable. The emotional weight of this moment is profound. For nearly 5 decades, this probe has carried humanity's voice into the cosmos, a testament to our curiosity, our ambition, our desire to connect with the unknown. It has traveled farther than any object we've ever built, a solitary traveler in a sea of stars. And now, it may have found something or been found. The patterns in its signals, the shift in its path, the haunting hum, they all suggest a story that is only beginning to unfold. This is not the quiet fade into silence scientists expected. This is a crescendo, a moment that could redefine our place in the universe. Is this the first sign of contact, not with life as we imagine it, but with something else, something that operates on a scale we can't yet comprehend? Or is it a cosmic coincidence, a quirk of physics we don't yet understand? The answers remain out of reach, locked in the faint signals, traveling across billions of miles. But one thing is clear. This spacecraft, a relic of human hope, has done more than explore. It has challenged us to confront the unknown, to ask whether we are ready for what lies beyond. Its journey, once a tale of discovery, has become a question that echoes through the stars. Are we alone, or have we been seen? The probe continues to transmit, its antenna still pointed toward Earth, its signals carrying a message that grows more complex with every passing day. And as we listen, we can't help but wonder, what is out there and what does it want? The cosmos, once silent, now hums with possibility. This is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of something far greater, something that could change everything we believe about the universe and our place within it. What does this mean for humanity? The probe's encounter, if that's what it is, forces us to face questions we've long avoided. If something is responding, what does it know about us? If it's aware of our signals, our record, our coordinates, what might it do next? The golden record, once a symbol of hope, now feels like a double-edged sword, a gesture that may have invited the attention of something we can't yet understand. The scientific community is racing to decode the signals, to map the probe's new trajectory, to find answers in the data. But the truth is, we may not be ready for what we find. This moment, this impossible encounter, is a reminder that the universe is vast, unpredictable, and perhaps far more alive than we ever imagined. As the probe drifts farther into the void, its signals growing fainter, its power fading, it carries with it a question that resonates across the cosmos. Is this the first chapter of a new era, where humanity steps into a universe that is watching us back? Or is it a fleeting anomaly, a glitch in the machinery of a dying spacecraft? The answers lie in the stars, in the patterns of a signal that no one can yet fully decipher. For now, we listen, we analyze, we wonder. And we ask ourselves, what if the probe's impossible encounter is not just a discovery, but a warning. What if, after all these years, we are no longer the ones reaching out, but the ones being reached? This is your moment to reflect. Do you believe the probe has encountered something beyond our understanding? Is this the dawn of a new chapter in human history, or the final note of a mission that has already given us so much? Share your thoughts, your theories, your fears. If this story has stirred something in you, a sense of wonder, of unease, of possibility, pass it on. Tell someone who still believes there's magic in the stars, who feels the pull of the unknown. Because in the end, this spacecraft didn't just send back data, it sent back a challenge to question, to imagine, to prepare. The universe is speaking. Are we ready to listen,